Twotime, who has for a long time been the worst character in Forsaken, just got a complete rework, giving them 3 new abilities and much more. They have gone from the simplest character to one of the most complicated and hard characters to use. In this video, I'll be showcasing everything new, how you can properly use them, how to counter them as a killer, and they give my personal ranking of how good they are. So hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get started. First, looking at their base stats, they have not changed, still being 80 health, 12 speed, and 24 sprint speed. Their first and main ability is their dagger, which you can use to stab the killer. It has a cooldown of 30 seconds, and depending on if you hit a front or backstab, the effects are different. If you land a front stab, it deals 25 damage and inflicts the killer with slowness 2 and helpless for 2 seconds, which causes them to be unable to use their abilities. If you land a backstab, it deals 35 damage and stuns them for 4 seconds. The dagger also now heals you when attacking, with a front stab healing 10 health and a backstab healing 20. So you technically have infinite healing. Whenever you deal damage to the killer, it will fill up your oblation bar. It's really bugged for some reason, just don't worry about that. But we'll take a closer look at this later, since it involves their ritual ability. Their second ability is a crouch, which gives you invisibility 2 and undetectable. This makes you slightly transparent and unable to be detected by any killer abilities. You can stay crouched for 15 seconds, but you can choose to cancel this ability at any time by activating it again. After you stop crouching, it has a cooldown for 50 seconds. If you use the dagger ability while crouching, you perform a forward lunge, helping you land a hit. While the crouch ability can be nice to use for hiding, you can get heavily punished for it. For example, if you uncrouch while the killer is far away, you will get slowness for 10 seconds and your location will be revealed. This is to ensure that you can't just camp all game. However, if you uncrouch right next to the killer, you'll instead get speed 2 for 1 second, helping you get away. And if you're only a medium distance, nothing happens. Do note, however, the crouch does not stop you from being detected during last man standing. For their final and most unique ability, we have the ritual. It is a one-time use ability, allowing you to place a ritual anywhere on the map. This sets the spawn location for your second life, but now you have to earn that second life through filling up your oblation bar. This is done by attacking the killer using the dagger, and you need to gather a total of 8 blood points, with the front stab giving 3 and the backstab giving 4.5. For every additional 2 time in the game, you need 1 more blood point to max it out. So you have to attack the killer a couple times using your dagger, forcing you to play quite aggressively. If you are killed, you will respawn at your ritual with 40 health and weakness 5 for 12 seconds and speed 2 for 6 seconds. If you instead reach last man standing, you will still respawn at your ritual, but now you have 110 health and speed 2 for 6 seconds. This way, you're still rewarded for getting a second life, but it isn't insanely overpowered. That's it for all of its stats. Now let's take a look at how to best utilize these abilities to make the killer rage quit. First of all, you can quickly use the crouch and dagger ability back to back in order to instantly perform a lunge, making it much easier to land a hit. I would always recommend doing this, but it won't always be possible since the crouch is a much longer ability. Using this combination, this attack is actually really easy to hit, but you always want to make sure you're going for a backstab. The best time to try and backstab the killer is when they're distracted chasing somebody else, as they will usually be too focused on the other survivor to notice you. So try and stay close to other survivors or linger in the background near the killer. It is possible to land a backstab while being chased, but it will be very difficult since the killer will likely always be facing you. Landing a front stab will give them helpless and slowness, but there is quite a bit of end lag to this ability, so in most cases, you're just putting yourself in a really bad situation. Now, where are the best spots to place a ritual? I would recommend putting them in a far corner of the map, preferably in a relatively hidden spot. This way the killer won't know where you teleported to and will likely leave you alone unless it's last man standing. But most importantly, remember where you place your ritual and don't go near that area. Try to loop around the opposite side of the map, because if you die near your ritual, you are screwed. Not only will they see you, but they will also one-shot you due to your weakness 5. That's pretty much all the tips I have for surviving as Twotime. Now let's take a look at how you can counter this annoying little character, since most lobbies are going to be filled with them fresh after this update. John Doe is definitely the biggest counter for Twotime for 2 main reasons. First of all, his trails are really annoying if you're trying to go for backstabs, as you'll always take a bit of residual damage. The Twotime can heal this back if they land their attacks, but if they miss, it's quite punishing. Secondly, if you find a ritual, you can place a trap on top of it, guaranteeing they'll be hit if you kill them. This is great, as they take a total of 11 damage due to their weakness, leaving them at 29 health, and they get slowness and give you speed. On top of all this, their location will be revealed, so if they happen to respawn close by, they are screwed. If you are playing a killer that gives helpless, so 1x or Jason, you can hit a Twotime with helpless while they are crouched, and they will be unable to uncrouch. This leaves them extremely slow, unable to use any of their abilities, and completely screwed. But for all killers, there are some general tips I can give. If you're chasing Twotime, try to be always facing them so they can't land a backstab. If you're chasing another survivor, make sure to check behind you occasionally just to make sure there isn't a Twotime running up attempting to land a backstab. They can be really annoying with this, and you can catch them off guard if they're trying to catch up to you. Overall, I'd say this is a fantastic rework, taking an extremely boring character and transforming it into something really cool. They managed to keep the respawn ability, but make it more strategic and interesting. By no means is this character beginner friendly, but the life stealing, stunning, and second life can be really powerful. I'd say it's a low to mid A tier with a lot of potential for skilled players. But in general, I say they're a worse, more interesting version of Shedletsky. Shedletsky has a more consistent stun, not having to land a backstab, and can heal whenever he wants using his fried chicken. The one big advantage Twotime has is their revive, but you're not guaranteed to get that. Still, let me know in the comments below how you feel about this rework and whether or not you agree with my ranking. And if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.